What's going on, YouTube world? Welcome back to Little Bit Mad Gaming, bringing you, know what that means, another review for WWE Smackdown, Friday Night Smackdown. But first things first, you could leave a like, subscribe, share, and hit that notification button. Also, leave a comment down below what you think about Friday Night Smackdown, what you like, didn't like, what would you give it. You know, could it be better? Could it have been worse? Could it have been anything? Just let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, we gotta go to 100 subscribers. So those who are not subscribed, subscribe. Those who are subscribed, keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate you. Just share, share, share. With that all out of the way, let's get to the fun stuff. So SmackDown opened with Roman Reigns supposedly sulking and angry about what happened to him on at what was that, Elimination Chamber. So he opened up Raw. They give a little recap. SmackDown. They give a little recap of what happened. Him getting speared. Edge basically choosing him to be his WrestleMania opponent, and then he gets as he's cutting his promo about how his night was almost perfect till Ed speared him. Daniel Bryan comes out and pretty much condescendingly agrees with him that your night was almost perfect. Even when you came out right after I won the Elimination Chamber and you defeated me, that was even perfect. Just being condescending. He didn't mean nothing he was saying. He really wanted to call Roman a coward, but he was saying, everybody, I heard rumors that everybody back think you were a coward for what you did, but that's not me. I think you did everything perfectly. I think you would, like you said, you almost had a perfect night. But he said that we do it one more time for the Universal Championship. This time, 1-on-1 straight up at Fastlane. And apparently, it was. We'll learn later on the night that it was supposed to be Daniel Bryan and Edge tag teaming against him and Jey Uso at Fastlane, but now the tag team match is being scrapped for Daniel Bryan. They find out that, I guess, upper management wants Daniel Bryan to be basically challenging Roman Reigns for the title, or they want to see if it says Daniel Bryan laid out the challenge. They want to see if they could do this because this is a way better match than the tag team match. So yeah, Daniel Bryan lays out the challenge, and Jay would get involved, saying, "Hey man, you lost. You go to the back of the line, and you want to get to the head of the table. You got to go through the right hand man." And then he laid down he still laid down that challenge, and to where I think Roman and Daniel Bryan got in each other's faces, and Daniel saying how there's a lot of comparisons to us, but if you should accept this match at Fastlane, then and you beat me, you could end the comparisons. And then Jay out of nowhere attack Daniel Bryan after Roman got in Daniel Bryan's face, said, "You really want me to hurt you again?" And then he would end up getting attacked by Jay, thrown over the barricade, and that would be the end of that promo. Now then we went on to the first match of the night. I think I kind of got things backwards, but I kind of think that it was Apollo Crews versus Shinsuke Nakamura. But Apollo Crews came out with a whole new, I don't want to say music, but he came out with new ring gear and stuff, and so he's now embracing his Nigerian culture and background and heritage, and that he said the reason why he did what he did last week was because Big E kept telling him to go back to the catering instead of letting him do what he trying to do. He keep telling him to go back to catering, so he got mad and beat up Big E for the disrespect. And he said his grandfather, who was a king, basically was saying that when people disrespected you, you introduce them to the steel for their disrespect. So now he embracing this whole new attitude of his, which I guess has been he's fighting full win on hell. In which he got interrupted by Shinsuke Nakamura, and then Shinsuke, it will start the Shinsuke versus Apollo Crews, which I cared more about the I care more about the Apollo Crews promo than I did the match. The match itself was okay, but I knew Apollo Crews was going to win. And it wasn't really that much build up to it, but yeah, Apollo Crews ended up winning using now he using the angle slam. He using Kurt Angle's finishing move now, and he win the whole. But while I didn't care for the match, like I said, I did care for the promo. Yeah, we got the Mysterio we got Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio versus Otis and Chad Gable again, which is like a rematch from last week. But once again, this was a match I really didn't care about, other than the fact that it really did solidify Otis as being the heel. And but it still ended the same way it ended last week with Otis getting a splash from the top rope onto Rey Mysterio and getting the pin for the 1, 2, 3. We've been teased throughout the night that Bianca Belair they're gonna ask Bianca Belair to reveal who she's gonna face at WrestleMania. We got a match with Liv Morgan versus Tamina, and that match I really didn't care for, but Tamina ended up winning. I think the whole purpose of it was to put Tamina and Natalya over as a new dominant tag team, but I really didn't care. But yeah, Tamina beat Liv Morgan. Then we got Bianca Belair finally coming out. She is with Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville was in the ring with Bianca Belair, basically asking her what's her decision, and now she was giving this speech about how she wanted to make the right choice because your choices define you. Reginald, who's actually now got his own music and entrance, which is, I guess, is okay because he keep coming out each week, getting more TV time than Carmella. So they finally gave Reginald his own intro and thing. He comes out basically doing the same old stick, telling Bianca how her teaming with Sasha showed Bianca Sasha's counters and her offense and counters and all that type of stuff, that you see that if you choose, your mama is right. If you make your choices do define you, and you make the right choice will define you. You would probably end up being a champion if she go to Raw and challenge the Raw Women's Champion. But that if she challenges Sasha, she won't win, and her mama would be the echoes of her mama's words will echo in her mind forever, haunting her that she made the wrong choice. And then Sasha comes out, gets in Reginald's face, but she does it like she's getting ready to say sweet nothings into his ear, but then she yells at him and told her not to come out here talking for her. And then Sasha basically goes Bianca, telling her that if she want to make history and want to really prove that she's the BEST WWE, that she got to choose, that she needs to choose her at WrestleMania. And yeah, Bianca ended up choosing. Bianca ended up just like Edge. She tells Sasha that she chooses her for WrestleMania and points to the WrestleMania sign. And just like when Edge did it, they made fireworks come out and signifying that Bianca has chosen Sasha Banks as her opponent for WrestleMania. Then you got the Street Profits versus King Corbin and Sami Zayn, which is a tag team out of nowhere. But I guess the whole story is that this is the Street Profits' way of trying to get back into the title picture after Montez Ford is finally all healed up, like Sonya Deville wanted them to be. Now they get in the matches they needed to try to get back into the title picture. But this was like to see who is worthy to challenge Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler for the Smackdown championships. And the Street Profits end up winning the match. Decent match. Didn't care for it too much, but it was a decent match to watch. But then we got another promo with Cesaro and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out and basically was taunting how the stuff he did was trending everywhere, was trending all over social media. And then Cesaro will come out guess he wanted to come out and beat Seth Rollins. But Seth Rollins stopped him and was trying to tell him that if he embraced the vision, that he would get the killer instinct that he needs to put him up the hump. Because he said he was taught to Cesaro saying that had you listened to me instead of turning your back on me like you did 2 weeks ago, you would be here right now as the Universal Champion, because you went on to win the Elimination Chamber and beat Roman Reigns and become Universal Champion. He said, and telling Cesaro that he's got everything but killer instinct to be champion. And Cesaro, having heard enough of Seth Rollins' little pitch, picks Seth Rollins, knocks him down, and does the Cesaro swing, giving a big Cesaro swing. It looked like both Shinsuke and Cesaro are basically being turned heel, and opposite, like they traded Shinsuke and Cesaro for Apollo Crews and Otis. Basically, when Cesaro and Shinsuke was heel, Otis and Apollo was face, but now it's the opposite. Now Cesaro and Shinsuke are face, and Otis and I was about to say Cesaro and Apollo, Otis and Apollo are now heel. So that was a nice little change of pace. But yeah, Cesaro giving Seth Rollins the Cesaro swing twice, and then he uppercuts him to lead the ring and make a statement, which looked like it's setting up a match for Cesaro and Seth Rollins at Fastlane. And then there's one more promo before the main event, and which we found out throughout the night. I forgot to mention that too. That we found out throughout the night that the main event for SmackDown will be Daniel Bryan versus Jey Uso, and if Daniel Bryan wins his match against Jey Uso, he will face Roman Reigns at Fastlane for the Universal Championship. But first, like I said, before the main event, we got a promo between Daniel Bryan and Edge. I forgot too. Edge was the one of the people who revealed that it was supposed to be a tag team match at Fastlane with him teaming up with Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, because he found out that Daniel was now potentially getting a match with Roman instead of having a tag team match. Now he's going to have a one-on-one match with Roman. He wanted to talk to Adam Pearce, and then this is the continuation of that after him talk to Adam Pearce twice about Edge. Now runs into Daniel Bryan giving an interview, and in which he was telling the interviewer that Edge he's speaking truthfully, and he don't think Edge got what it takes to beat Roman. So now, in which Edge interrupts, basically just tells Daniel Bryan, "I heard what you said, and you're being truthful. So let's say you do win tonight, and you do go on to beat Roman Reigns, then it would be me and you at WrestleMania instead of Roman Reigns. And if it does come down to me and you at WrestleMania, who do you think will win then? Since you're being truthful about my possibilities against Roman." And Daniel Bryan said he'll keep that to himself, but he told Edge that none of it matters if he can't beat Jey Uso. So that leads it to the main event, because after Cesaro got done doing the Cesaro swing, I forgot that when Cesaro was leaving the ring, leaving Seth Rollins in the ring, hurt from the uppercut, Daniel Bryan came out to start the main event match. So I think the promo between him and Edge that I just got done telling you about, I think that happened before the Cesaro promo, Cesaro Seth Rollins promo, yeah. But I kind of went backwards. Now that I remember, I think it was supposed. I should have did the Cesaro promo. I should have did the Edge promo with Daniel Bryan first, then the Cesaro promo, because that led into the main event. But yeah, either way, it leads into the main event, and yeah, it's Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso had a nice little match. It was a decent main event. It was actually a good main event. You actually saw they ended up working over Daniel Bryan's injured knee still from the his knee still being injured from the Elimination Chamber, and Jey Uso not being able to put Daniel Bryan away. Daniel Bryan not being able to put Jey Uso away at the moment. But Jey Uso saw the writing on the walls that Daniel Bryan was ended going to put him away. So the match ends with a no DQ or no DQ, double disqualification I keep saying it's DQ. Sorry, it ended with a double count out because both both Jey and Daniel Bryan was fighting on the outside. And they said Jey realizing that he couldn't beat Daniel Bryan, he just realized that Daniel Bryan just couldn't win the match. He just needed to make sure Daniel Bryan didn't win the match. So that's what he did. He purposely kept Daniel Bryan on the outside and just got both of them counting out in a double count out. And Daniel Bryan frustrated would get Jey Uso back into the ring to hit him with the yes lock, only for Roman to come out and start beating up on Daniel Bryan. Bryan would then try to get Roman into the yes lock, only for Jey to super kick Daniel Bryan. That they basically jumped and beat Daniel Bryan to end the night. When Roman taunting Daniel Bryan, said, "This is mine, and you're never going to get it." And he held up the title to end Smackdown. So overall, with all that being said, if I have to give Smackdown any type of grade, I would give Smackdown a solid 7. Because it was a typical slow, a solid. I meant to say 7 big ups because it was a slow. It wasn't a chock full of excitement for SmackDown. It wasn't full of any excitement. It wasn't all the way boring. It wasn't all the way exciting. It was just like your typical slow. Kind of, I won't say all the way slow. It was like kind of slow because it's just the slowdown from 2 pay-per-views back to back. Because you had the Royal Rumble, then you had Elimination Chamber right after that. So it was like after 2 pay-per-views they had to slow it down. So I understood. This was just a little slowdown for the show. So just like Raw. What I didn't like about the show, like I said, I loved the Apollo Crew. The Apollo Crew's promo was actually a good promo. I actually dig it, though I didn't care for the actual Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crew's match because I knew who was going to win. So it took a little momentum out of the match because I already knew who was going to win. I did like the Roman Reigns promo. I didn't care for the Otis and Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio versus Otis and Chad Gable because it ended the same way it ended last week. I just knew it was going to be Otis on top. He was going to win because this was more about him being champion. But I assume that they start building a good storyline for Dominic Mysterio. It looked like they trying to build him up as a next big thing WWE star. I didn't care for the Liv Morgan match. And Liv Morgan versus Tamina because it really wasn't like I could have cared less. It didn't have nothing other than, like I said, it tried maybe the fact that it was trying to build Tamina and Natalya up, but it really didn't need to because Tamina and Natalya Tamina and Natalia been there, but as long as you really don't need them, you don't really need to give them a build up. What you need to do is build up the Riot Squad. You need to build up newer talent and not try to give a build up to older talent, because the Tamina and Natalia honestly could make a pop if you just give them the right storyline, and they would actually seem better than what they are. They just can't be better than the promo and the time you give them. So yeah, to me, the Liv Morgan versus Tamina match was I didn't care for the Street Profits match, just because it was the same old. But I'm glad that they trying to put them back into the title picture. So that is a plus for that. I just really didn't care for the match itself, but it was a decent, good match to watch. It's not a bad match to watch. It's just a negative because I didn't feel like it was something I really cared about. Other than that, every other promo other than the Street Profits, the Liv Morgan match, and the oldest oldest match. Let's see, Street Profits, Liv Morgan, oldest, and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews was the only negatives. Everything else was a positive, so that's why I gave it a 7. And that's it, yeah. So if you like that review, you want to see more reviews like that, let me know in the comments down below. That's all I got. To the next one, peace.